What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys like the easiest strategy to make money in the market. This one recently, the trade that I called out for you guys on Tesla ended up running over 1,000% for a couple of you guys, and we are going to be covering exactly how you guys can find these for yourselves so that you guys can implement this strategy in your everyday trading, because honestly, this is the easiest way to make money in the market. If you guys are struggling, and again, a lot of people like to say trading is hard or trading is difficult. The actual act of trading, yes, there are some difficult elements to it, with sometimes managing your emotions or risk management, which are very easy things to take care of. But the reason why a lot of people think trading is hard is not because of the reasons they think it is. It really is because the strategy that they're trying to trade, quite frankly, sucks. So I'm going to give you guys a great one here so that we can actually get you guys to a point where you guys can be making consistent money in the market in honestly the easiest way possible. So let's get into it over here and kind of go over this Tesla trade so you guys can see exactly how this plays out in real time. Oh, also, by the way, guys, I know you guys have seen me talk about those watch lists of stocks that are about to explode before they do. My 3 private live streams a week, the 18 winning months in a row day trading strategy. I do have a little announcement for you guys. I am going to be opening up a private Discord at the end of August here, but there's a special kind of promo that I'm offering you guys. Anybody that hops into any one of my educational programs right now, there's also a 40% off discount to it as well using code STV40. You guys are going to get access to that new community absolutely free, and you are not going to have to pay monthly. You guys have seen all the gains that people have been making. I'll throw them up on the screen over here. The testimonials have been absolutely insane, seeing your guys' growth. If you guys are interested in that, making sure that you're able to hop in before we actually release it so you don't have to pay every single month, make sure you guys check out that link down below. But let's take a look at this Tesla trade here. I know it just looks like it just ripped absolutely to the moon here, and that is a common trend that we do see with a lot of the entries that I have. And we're going to go over exactly a couple of the reasons why, but again, that is really going to be talked about a lot more in depth in those hours and hours of educational videos that is waiting for you guys in that educational curriculum that is already available for you once you guys hop in. So, if you guys were paying attention to a lot of what I was saying about Tesla on the public streams that I used to do, what I was saying is that there's going to be a point in time this year that Tesla is going to give us an absolutely epic opportunity. We just have to be patient. What a lot of people do in the market is they're programmed because they've been in school, they've gone through the education system, and they hold jobs in which every single day they have to turn in homework, or there's a certain amount of tasks that you have to do every single day in order to maintain your employment status or get the grades that you want in order to get to where you want to go. Trading is not like that at all. A lot of the time, the best decision is to not do anything and focus on capital preservation so you're able to fully take advantage of these types of opportunities, these 1,000% opportunities, when they do show up. So let's take a look broadly at what Tesla had been doing this year so far. Now, Tesla had been hated by the market, trending down very, very aggressively, going from the highs at the beginning of the year, really above 250, all the way down to the lows in the 130 range. We then saw a little bit of capitulation, pop back up, and then we were chopping around and sort of consolidating in a range for about a month and a half here. Now, what we kind of see in this little area on Tesla is there's really no rhyme or reason for what it's doing. There's no real clear direction. We see it baiting above and below this blue line here, which is the 10 exponential moving average. This is what I like to use on my charts. Sometimes I throw on a 20, but very rarely the 10 is going to give us everything that we need to know. Until we start to get into this area here in the middle of June, we really didn't see anything that caught my attention on Tesla. But what do we see when we get towards the end of June here? We see a pop above the 10 EMA, and then we start to see it respect this exponential moving average here. We see a test here, a test here, a test here, test, test, test before the big breakout. Now, when I'm looking for a stock to make a large move, the vast majority of the time, they're always going to look the same before they make the move. That's why I talk about a lot finding stocks that are about to explode before they do, because the vast majority of the time, they're all going to have a similar look. And this is one of the looks that I like to look for. We see Tesla pop up, shift this little downtrend that we were in, and start consolidating. Stocks like to move in stair steps. Now, in my personal life, this is honestly what I say to people when they ask me how I trade. I try to make it very simple. Stock go up, stock go flat, stock starts going up again, you buy it. Obviously, it's a little bit more complex than that. We have to know a little bit more about what's happening with the broad market and that individual stock. But that basically covers the basics of what we're looking at here. And you guys see it happen all of the time. So what are we looking at specifically on this trade once we see Tesla starting to shift its trend and starting to consolidate just like we see right here? Well, obviously the range that Tesla is trading in is getting a little bit tighter, which is exactly what we want to see. We also see a nice little double top here, which I then started to look for as my area of interest, my trigger level, my breakout level, whatever you want to call it, and that's right around 188.80. Now, the strategy is going to be as follows, and it's very, very, very simple. Once the stock starts to break above that level, that is my sign that I need to be entering that trade. So once Tesla broke above there, for me personally, when I was in this trade, I ended up going with the 205 strike calls, which was a little bit further out of the money than I typically would go. But just because Tesla was looking so good, very similar to what we saw on that 650% Palo Alto trade, I felt a little bit more comfortable going a little bit further out of the money. Now, the risk management with this strategy is very, very, very simple. And again, I harp on it all of the time in all the educational streams and all of the hours of educational content that I provide you guys, but your position size when you are trading options is going to be your risk. What I mean by that is, let's say that you have a $10,000 account and you want to risk 1%. Now, in this case here, you would only be putting into the trade $100. Now, another word that I use for this all of the time is sizing for zero, so that you can make sure that you're never over risking and putting your portfolio in a position to be more volatile than it needs to be, up and also down. So once we end up seeing that level, we enter our position. Our stop goes below the day low of that breakout candle. So in this case with Tesla, I gave it a little bit more room coming down in here. Entry was at 188.80. The stop was right around 185.72. Now, where do we know to take profits? Now, I talk about this a lot. I take profits a variety of ways. Sometimes I will look to make this position free at about 100 or 150%, meaning selling half of the position that I have in order to get my initial investment back and some profits to be able to ride the rest of the position completely risk-free. Now, in this Tesla example, we also are looking at very, very specific prior levels of resistance in order to be taking profits off of the table. So right here, we see a big resistance level right around 199, about $11 higher, $10 higher from where we entered. Then we see another level back in here, as you guys can see, at around 205 here, which is where I was buying my strikes. Typically, again, I like to buy my strikes between the first and second take profit area. That is about going to give you most of the time about a 1 to 3 risk to reward. In this case, it was a little bit more at about 1 to 5.6. Very, very, very solid there. Then we have a little bit of this level right here. That's another area that I was targeting. And then this gap back in here. So once you are able to make this position free, guys, and it starts moving to the upside, you can ride this trade completely risk-free. And the best part about trading this way, and again, this is all on the daily time frame. Those of you guys that have 9-to-5 jobs that are not able to stare at the screen all day, once you set your price alert right here, and I'll show you guys exactly how to do that right now. Let's say that Tesla, I was looking at this area of interest right here. All I have to do is highlight this 188.80 area, click this plus button, add alert, and then I have my alert right there. And then you can do the same thing from your profit for your profit targets as well. Once you end up hitting those areas of interest, then you are able to then open up your phone and scale out of that position. So let's talk about scaling out really quickly before we wrap this up. This case in Tesla, for example, here, there are 4 areas of interest. So if I was just looking for those areas to be hit, I would be looking to scale out a quarter of my position here, quarter of my position here, a quarter. Very, very, very simple. Now, for me personally, I like to size a little bit more aggressively into some of these trades. So I like to make those positions free at about 100% or 150%, depending on the sizing of that trade, and then target those profit targets going even further. But I want to make sure that the strategy is very clear to everybody because it is incredibly simple, but it's so powerful. It's so easy to spot. All you need to look for is a stock to be moving in an upward trend, upward direction, consolidating, and finding that clear range. Now, let's go over another example here of a recent trade before we wrap this up. Palo Alto. This was an absolutely epic one, and there were actually two trades on this here as well. So we saw an aggressive move down after earnings. You don't really see anything in here. It starts moving all over the place. Then you start to see this nice consolidation here. Now, again, we did bait below this 10 EMA. We reclaimed it the next day, and then we broke on this day. Now, this move to the upside here was actually enough to get me out on that scale out at around 150%. So I was able to make this position free. It came back down, but this chart still looked so good that on that secondary break, I was able to re-enter and ride this thing all the way up to those 650% gains that we were talking about before. Here's another example. We go to GM. We come back over here. Let's see where this was, right here. We see GM kind of chopping around here. We start consolidating right under this key resistance area here. We break above, and this one was able to run pretty significantly as well. I believe this one was about 250, 300%. Guys, this is the easiest and simplest way to make money in the market. If you guys aren't trading like this, I'm handing you guys some of these strategies on a silver platter here. This is the majority of what I am doing in the market. When you see me hitting these multi-100% gains, they are very, very easy to spot. And when I say I'm finding stocks that are about to explode before they do, this is what they look like before they start to run. So again, if you guys want to join me and make sure that you're able to secure your spot in there, not have to pay that monthly fee when I do release that premium Discord, make sure you guys check out that link down below. But if not, thank you guys for watching this video here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.